What's up, people of NFHS? Stray here, drawing the line. If you say something, there is something else that what you just said could mean. Every time you say anything, there is something else that could mean. Something else attributed to it, something else that could define it. Every time you say, think, or do something at all, there's something else connected to it. And this wouldn't be a problem if it weren't for... Who do you think? The internet? Yeah, of course, because apparently when you go online and say anything that you think, anything that is your opinion, they will automatically think that something attributed to it is also what you mean. And usually it's bad. They always do this, even though they probably don't actually mean it, so that they could just get you in trouble and ruin your life because they already ruined theirs and they have nothing to do. It's quite sad to see that saying anything nowadays could come with a bad catch. For me, I'm honestly kind of safe from that. Because I'm always saying stuff that I think, and whenever someone hates on me for it, I kind of project that back onto them, and if they keep going, I just end the conversation because I know they're going to be stupid. But yeah, okay, what I'm trying to say is my opinions of most things are very unique. Like, I have many different interests that most people would be surprised that I have. My interests on books, on life choices, on movies, and oh my god, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is going to be a long video. And something that for the longest time I had a big opinion on was the MCU. I had the opinion that I really didn't give a shit about them. For a long time, I never understood why everyone loved it so much, and I didn't care because I didn't really like superhero movies. It just never was my thing. And before I did what I'm about to tell you, before all of this, the only MCU movie I ever watched was Spider-Man Homecoming. And it kind of left an impact on me because I really like that movie, but other than that, I never gave a little shit about the studio until recently, because this summer I took up a hobby where I decided I would watch every single MCU movie. Every single one in timeline order to see what was up with it all. Basically because I just wanted to get into something new. I just wanted to change my opinion about this studio, not because everyone else would hate me if I didn't, but because I just wanted to for the hell of it. And also because I was kind of bored this summer, and needless to say, this has done the trick and gotten me interested in superhero movies. Simple as that. That's what it did. And right now, and for this video, I have finished them all, every single one in timeline order, and I am now going to rank every single one of them. All 32 MCU movies. Yeah, 32. If you never cared to count, this continuous moving film franchise timeline has been going on for 32 movies. This is just truly emblematic of why I'm probably the only one who thinks that the MCU must be the most burnt out and tired studio out there. Star Wars has been around for 46 years and they've only made 12 movies. The MCU has only been around for 15 years and they've made 20 movies more. How fast do they work? Do they even take breaks? Do they even know how to sleep? When's the last time they slept? Needless to say, I don't have too many opinions on the studio, but I have a lot of opinions on their movies. And after watching them all, I definitely have a lot to say about them. And also another thing that I'm going to do before I end this video is before I get to my number one pick, I'm going to do something that is related to Marvel, but not the MCU. I'm going to do a bonus review of the recent movie Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Because I also have opinions on that movie, and I have a very unique opinion on the first movie. And I just feel like mentioning that with you, but I feel like I've been wasting too much time with this intro talking about stuff that has nothing to do with one another. So anyways, we should jump right in. Each movie is, there will be 7 categories that each movie will fall into as the list goes on. The two bottom movies go in the absolutely terrible category, and from there on it's bad, okay, good, great, and the top 2 movies go in the elegant masterpiece category. I feel like there's nothing more to say. This is so awkward. How am I bad doing this? So yeah, I'm going to take you through every single movie in this continuous timeline franchise, all 32 movies, and along the way, a bonus Across the Spider-Verse review. So, here we go. Number 32. Oh god, why does my brightness keep going up when I keep trying to turn it down? Okay, number 32. There's a lot of movies. And honestly, I didn't think it was pretty hard to pick the bottom one. Before I saw the movie that was on the bottom of this list, I had already seen another movie in this marathon that completely crushed the absolutely terrible category. And I felt like it was destined to be put in the last place. It wasn't that, because I came across another movie. I watched every single one of these movies in timeline order. Why did I even say that? So the worst movie was randomly just thrown in there, and it was a more modern movie. It was only made in 2021, so that would have made it lower down than every other movie, but it was there on the list right in the middle. And I can safely say that that other movie I watched is not fit to be in the bottom spot. Number 32, without a doubt, is Black Widow. Genuinely, absolutely terrible. This movie, I feel ashamed that I watched this movie. This movie is anti-Marvel. Not that it goes against every trope of a usual Marvel movie and twists it all around to do something new or original. No. It's just something that I can't believe Marvel made. Black Widow is a movie starring the most uninteresting and lamest hero in the whole MCU. Someone whose only powers is that she knows karate or something. She knows how to move swiftly and just kick people, and she uses 2 pistols. That's her entire trope. This entire movie is based off of her. This movie was released in 2021, long after Captain America Civil War. This was the movie that came right after that. And honestly, not only is it pointless, Actually, yeah, it's probably pointless because honestly, this movie added really nothing to the franchise because it just got plopped down in the middle of two movies from long ago and added nothing. It didn't add anything at all. It's just a side mission like it was. It's as if it's like it was added on Disney Plus just for the sake of adding content, even though it wasn't a Disney Plus original. But okay, this movie is honestly this this movie feels like it came off the dark web. This movie has all of the has every it can make you feel every single negative emotion that you can feel, and you just want it to end already. Just let it end. Basically every part of this movie is wrong. The first 20 minutes of this movie was the most depressing, scary, horrifying, and just so sad. It was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen in a movie so far. The first 20 minutes has the most is the first 20 minutes feels like it was like that for the sake of shock pleasure, because the first 20 minutes has these two girls who are living in a fake family. They're escaping Shield, and now they get and now what their mother has and now they think their mother has died, and their father has sent them off to a place called the Red Room, where they're now growing up in an absolute purgatory or something like that. They're growing up in absolute hell, and all the while the opening credits are playing a cover of "Smells Like Teen Spirit" by Nirvana, which that's so toneless and more scary and depressing. Most people like it because it does not feel like a Marvel movie, and it makes you think that the rest of the movie is going to be much different. No, it doesn't. This movie just throws those things in the beginning, and it doesn't fit the rest of the movie. That intro sequence was just so inexplicably scary to watch and sad, and then the rest of the movie is not scary, but just sad. I don't feel like giving this movie credit for talking about child trafficking, because I just don't want to give this movie any credit. Every character in this movie is a monster. No relationships feel genuine. I was just waiting for every single character to die, and everyone was being an absolute prick and asshole to each other. Everything was just so broken. Every character is just betraying each other left and right and trying to kill each other, not forgiving each other, and never once happy. It's just, and it's completely broken. The plot makes no sense. It goes nowhere. It's hard to understand. It's uninteresting. The villain is unethically evil, and everyone else is evil as well, but not as evil as the villain. Oh my god, I just hate this movie, but I don't know how to describe it. I'm really fumbling my words. I'm horrible at this sort of video. The entire plot was just so frustrating to follow. I have no idea why this was made. The effects suck. They totally suck. There's barely any effects. This is a movie focusing on a hero in the MCU without superpowers, and the effects are in there just suck. The effect everyone agrees sucks the most is the part at the end of the movie where Yelena just explodes the jet engine and gets thrown back like that. Yeah, like what the fuck was that? And the ending was just pissed me off, because I have no idea how this fake family of I have no idea how Natasha's fake family actually came to peace with each other and had a happy ending. It sucked. I wanted these characters to die. They were horrible. I feel like they bastardized these characters, but I just don't care for them. I did not want to watch this movie. It was horrible. No scene is genuine. The effects suck. The characters are monsters. The plot is confusing. It goes nowhere. It's pointless. It comes right after Captain America: Civil War, but adds nothing to it. But except for showing someone that sold Natasha a twin jet so we can go break out the Avengers that are in jail cells. But like, they are already broken out, so why did you need to show that as if it came right after Civil War? And the end credit scene spoiled a lot, because I'm pretty sure that was setting up the plot for Hawkeye. It comes after Avengers Endgame, and I don't think it needed to be there. Oh my god, I don't know what to say. I'm fumbling my words because this movie just sucks so much. Not one aspect of this is good. The only thing that got a genuine smile, that gave me genuine amusement, is the fact that the song American Pie is in this movie. American Pie by Don McLean, which I think is might just be my favorite song ever. Other than that, this movie is completely broken, and the entire MCU could have done better without it. I did not want a Black Widow movie, and I am so happy that I'll never watch this again, because I never want to think about this again. I am truly sad that I put myself through this. It definitely deserves the title of absolutely terrible. But there's one other movie that deserves it. And like I said, I watched a movie before this that definitely earned that ranking before I found this. And so let's talk about that movie. Number 31, without a doubt, has to be Iron Man 2. What the fuck is wrong with this movie? This movie, I was literally only 4 movies into this entire marathon, and I already knew this was the worst of the bunch. This was the 3rd film in the whole MCU, released by the MCU, and the 4th film in the timeline. And yet, it sucks so bad that first off, it's kind of boring. Like, there's barely any action sequences, and the action sequences are there, kind of look cool. But, okay, that's a good thing about this movie. The only good thing about this movie is the fact that the effects are a 10 out of 10. And I'm so sad that those great effects are keeping this movie from having the score that it really should deserve. Okay, the villain is wasted. The villain, Whiplash, I have no idea who that is because I've never read the comics. I have no idea what his motivation towards Tony is. And I have no idea why he's trying to be evil, and his villain story goes absolutely nowhere. He has one fight with Tony, and then just disappears because he's off fucking around building things for some other big business guy who's trying to battle with Tony, and then he's doing pretty much nothing, and just battles with Tony a second time at the end of the movie. And also, the characters in this are really unlikable. Like Tony is just a dumbass whose motivations and character choices are just so confusing and dumb, and he makes the stupidest choices and is always being so selfish and rude. And every other character is calling him out for that, but at the same time, I still, for whatever reason, hate those characters who are calling out for him too, because I liked these characters, and it just breaks my heart to see them all being horrible. Tony Stark is an asshole, just randomly gives his entire company to Pepper, and doesn't really care about what's happening. He's just doing whatever he wants and fucking shit up and being so unloyal to the people that he loves, and then everyone just completely forgives him at the end. All his conflict is just resolved like it's an episode of Sesame Street. And War Machine, God, War Machine has a fight with Tony when he gets drunk, and it's just sad that Tony just goes right ahead and is like, yeah, give me a fat beat to beat my buddy's ass to. Tony gets drunk because apparently his reactor is making him die. And instead of telling his people this, he just goes, I'll just keep it to myself. But it starts getting to him, and he realizes he's gonna die. So to have the time of his, so he has the time of his life before he dies by getting drunk. And this stuff, and by not telling Pepper or Rhodey this or anyone else this, he just gets in so much trouble and ruins all of the relationships he has with other people, and they all turn against him. Then at the end they're just all with him again. That's when he tells them the truth. God. Okay, yeah. This movie is so ass. The characters suck. They're just so unlikable. The villain is wasted. The plot is very boring. The story barely goes anywhere. It's hard to understand it. It feels like it's just pandering, and the ending sucks. Oh, and also may I remind you, the original Iron Man ended with Tony revealing what his secret identity is, and the post-credit sequence had Nick Fury coming up to Tony and talking to him about the Avengers for the first time. This movie shows that he doesn't really care about the Avengers, and he turned it down, even though the first Iron Man movie gave so much potential and suspense for what the next movie is going to be. Like, oh my god, he's come up to him about the Avengers is about to start, but he says, nope, it's not gonna happen. And he doesn't even reconsider doing the Avengers once in this movie. This is definitely absolutely terrible. Horrible in nearly every way. The effects are holding it back from being a 0 out of 10. Okay, we've moved on from absolutely terrible. We're getting into the bad category now. Jeez, I am horrible at this. I feel like I said absolutely nothing, and I've just been wasting your time for the past 22 minutes. I really feel horrible with how I did that intro. It felt so Anyways, kicking off the bad category, number 30. The Incredible Hulk. Oh my god, this was such a amazing movie. This movie was so compelling and amazing and fun. It's also so fucking boring, and I don't give a shit about anything that happens in this. Oh my. It's supposed to be an origin story for Hulk, but his entire origin is just immediately thrown on screen in the opening credits, and now he just has it for the rest of this movie. I'm pretty sure we all wanted to see more scenes on building up to how he became the Hulk. Not just he's Hulk for the beginning, and now this is his first adventure. Oh my god, this movie's just so boring. There's barely anything to talk about. I gained nothing from watching this movie. This is the only movie in the whole franchise where Hulk says Hulk smash, and even then it doesn't feel genuine. This movie sucks. I don't know why. I just really don't like it, and I don't want to watch it again. It's extremely boring. Number 29. Thor: The Dark World. Also bad. Thor: The Dark World is so ass. It's so boring and uninteresting, and there's barely anything to talk about, but I'll try. I mean, this movie barely gave me anything to offer. It shows where one of the Infinity Stones came from, and so the conflict is they have to get the Aether to this Dark Elf, but then go psych and just put out an attack on him. And the villain is so ass. Nothing about him is interesting. He's named Malekith, the Stark Elf. And also the Dark World isn't really dark. It's not really dark at all. Every character in this movie is uninteresting, and the plot is just so uninteresting. This movie is so uninteresting. It is so forgettable. And Thor and Jane's relationship is also uninteresting. I'm using that word a lot. It's also uninteresting in this. And And this movie honestly had the worst ending in the MCU franchise. We're at the end, it just suddenly shows you, oh, Loki's alive. Yeah, just accept it. He's still alive, even though he got fucking stabbed by the Dark Elf, and I'm pretty sure died. They left him on the Dark World. Was that a hologram of him? What? How is he still alive? I this movie just felt like a waste of time, and the funniest part of this movie was the creativity and those portal sequences at the end. I just don't want to watch it again. It's a waste of time. Don't watch it. It's just so boring. Number 28, Captain America: Civil War. I went into that too fast. I fully consider Captain America to be my least favorite trilogy in this entire timeline. And Civil War is the worst for me. It just exists so that the characters can turn on each other in a Batman versus Superman kind of a way, that sort of showdown. And it sucks to see these characters becoming so unlikable and just turning on everyone else. And also, the plot is very uninteresting, boring, confusing, usually goes nowhere. And also, it completely wastes a Spider-Man cameo by bringing him in and then just throwing him out. Like, you brought in the Tom Holland Spider-Man, and now he's just out of the movie entirely. What was that for? Fan service or something? I don't remember anything about the villain's plan, and honestly, the ending sucks. It's just Tony fighting Captain America, and then they're genuinely they genuinely hate each other in the scene. But the problems are all resolved at the end. I don't know how. I genuinely forgot so much things in this movie. It's just so bad. Ugh. And everyone else loves it. I don't. And also, there is no civil war going on here. It's just the Avengers battling themselves. A war would have a lot of other people. And Avengers Infinity War is called that because there's a whole shit ton of people fighting a whole shit ton of other people. Basically, it has the war in Wakanda in that movie. This one doesn't have a civil war. I don't know what else to say it. I'm fumbling my words. I hate the way I'm doing this. I think this is... Oh my god. Number 27, Eternals. Still bad. I don't really have much to say about this one. It just shouldn't have been as long as it is, and I kind of understand why a lot of people don't like it. I really think the MCU could have done without adding these superheroes in. They have so much potential, and they actually do some creative stuff with them. But this movie is just so forgettable, and also the villain sucks so bad. He's a twist villain, and his motivation is, I am not going to question my master. I am just going to do what I am told. That is the reason the Earth must die. And also, Sprite, that one character, she just joins him because apparently she's jealous of other humans for doing what she can't, so she wants them all to die. This movie is very bad, and it's also very long. There was so much potential in a movie about immortal superheroes, and honestly, at the end of the day, it's just forgettable. As simple as that. And I do not give a shit if the Eternals are gonna return, because they probably won't. Oh, and the end credits in the post credits scene sucks because apparently that one guy, I don't remember his name, that one guy, you have to have watched every Marvel movie in order to understand what I'm saying here, okay? I forgot to give a spoiler warning at the beginning. Yeah, the post credit sequence sucks. It's just that one guy trying to kill himself, and then someone says stop, and we don't see what it is. Left on a cliffhanger that we don't care about. Number 26. Thor: Love and Thunder. Everyone says this movie was such an atrocious movie, and yeah, it is definitely awful. In the best kind of way. Thor: Love and Thunder is batshit insane. It is so enjoyable because of how bad it is. I mean, they bring back Jane and a bunch of these other characters, and what they do with them, honestly, doesn't feel disappointing to me. But if you say it's wasted, I guess so for whatever reason. I honestly just enjoyed this. I like the characters, but other than that, the effects are laughably really unfinished and cheap. When Heimdall's son reaches out to Thor, it looks like he's in a Zoom meeting, and they should have fleshed out the villain more. And honestly, the title of the movie, and honestly, the reveal of why this movie is called Love and Thunder at the very end is hilarious because it's just hilarious. I don't know, man. This movie was just very fun. In fact, it's the funniest MCU movie. It's legitimately making me laugh so much. It's just so fun in every way because it is truly really bad. And that's a true thing. Number 25, Captain America: The First Avenger. We are now into the category. My God, my computer keeps telling me disk space critically low. I keep feeling like my computer is gonna close on me at any second. How the fuck do I clear up storage space? Disk space. Captain America: The First Avenger is mad boring. This is literally the very first movie in this whole marathon, but when I started it, I immediately just turned it off and skipped to Iron Man, because I knew that one would be more fun. This one is the most boring MCU movie. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand war dramas, because nothing about them is interesting to me. I'd rather just mourn World War II in real life by looking up what happened and feeling sad for them all, instead of watching a war drama. This movie was just so uninteresting, and it's really the reason why and it's just another reason why I think Captain America is the weakest trilogy in the MCU. It's just mad boring in every way. I don't care about anything in this movie. And the end credit scene sucks, and the post credit scene sucks because it's literally just a teaser for the Avengers. Number 24, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I don't really know what much to say about this one. It's kind of mid. We're still in the category. It's honestly really frustrating to see the Scarlet Witch become the bad guy, and her motivations are literally because she touched a book that would corrupted her, and it corrupted her, and yeah, I'm kind of happy that she sacrifices herself at the end after realizing what she's done, but she's just so stupid to act like her kids would still love her after she went and became one of the most insane and most evil villains in the entire MCU. And also, this movie doesn't have much multiverse of madness. We're only stuck in this. They spend so much time in this one dimension that just has a few changes to it, and the Avengers are just Captain Carter, this other guy, someone from the Fantastic Four, a variation of Captain Marvel, and Patrick Stewart. And honestly, but I did have some laughs. The funniest part of this movie is when the two Doctor Stranges were battling with musical notes, and that ending was really, and the ending to this movie was really crazy. kind of confusing. It's just mid. It's eh. Number 23, Avengers Age of Ultron. Definitely the weakest Avengers movie. I mean, I don't have much to say about it. It's not boring, but I just don't really care about it. I barely have anything to say about it. I mean, there's this guy robot that wants to kill the entire Earth by pulling up a city and dropping it on it. And the Avengers stop him. Good as that. And there's also, and of course it also has the scene that shows Thanos is coming, but you won't see him for a bunch of years or so. Oh god. It just feels so boring talking about this movie. I feel tired. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't know how the hell I feel so stupid for the way I've been doing this video so far. And I'm just stressed out because my computer keeps saying device space critically low, and I keep thinking it's gonna close on me at any second. Next, number 22, Black Panther. Another movie that I really don't care for because I don't care for war dramas. I don't care for indigenous other African movies. I don't care for those types of movies. I didn't care for the main character in this movie, and also I actually didn't even realize that the fight scene at the end had such trashy effects. And then I saw everyone else was also noticed that and criticized it for it, and I realized, oh right, it did have trashy effects. But the best thing I can say about this movie is that the villain is really fun. I honestly really like his backstory, and he honestly is a very fun villain. I felt sad for him. I definitely enjoyed him. I was wanting him to lose, but he was pretty cool. I really don't have much to say about this movie. Oh god. Number 21. Okay, we've reached the okay category, and honestly, I want to apologize in advance, but I know this sounds so dumb. This is about to sound so crazy, but number 21 is Avengers Endgame. We're into the okay category. This one's starting it off. And you see, I really liked this movie for quite some time. I mean, I really did. It's 3 hours long, and for most of it, no moment felt wasted. And the final hour of this movie with that entire battle out in the field with literally every character in the MCU was just so great. So amazing. The ending was just so great. But the reason this movie is so low is because the time travel mechanics in this movie are so lazy. They are so lazy. They just say, nope, you actually can't. You actually don't get affected if you change the past. If you change the past, it doesn't affect the future for a reason I still can't understand, and the reason still sucks, and I just can't accept that. No, they change so much stuff from the past, and none of it affects the present at all. They knock. Because when they change the past, they let Loki escape. They knock out Peter Quill, and Nebula literally kills her past self, and she's somehow still alive. It's so stupid. And I've seen the show Loki, so why is it that and I've seen the show Loki, so and that movie showed the many problems with the timeline and time travel. And the TVA from that Loki show, you need to watch that show too to understand this, is a final warning for spoilers. That's so too late. And so the TVA from the Loki show should have showed up so many times in this movie. It just kind of ruined it for me. But there are so many other good aspects about it, and yet it's not my favorite. It's just okay. It's pretty good, I guess. Number 20, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The only thing that I can really say about this movie is I'm mad that it doesn't have Luis, and MODOK looks like Humpty Dumpty, which is really hilarious. The bad effects are so hilarious, and his death scene is so stupid, it's also hilarious. There's nothing else to say about this movie. I barely have anything to say about this movie at all. Next, number 19, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. This one is definitely better than the first Black Panther. Because it's literally, because the original script for the movie was much different, but this movie was changed entirely because it's literally just exists as a dedication to Chadwick Boseman, and yet it's the most mid. It's really the most mid. The Black Panther only comes up in the third act, not in the rest of this movie. I couldn't care more about it, and I really thought that okay, good things. The villain is actually pretty cool. I really loved seeing Killmonger again. I forget these characters' names. The main character, I really do feel for her since her brother died, and also I also thought it was hilariously stupid that these Africans have amazing technology, and yet they still very racistly are amazed by their target using a cell phone. Like it's like they say it's technology from a different place, and they're just wowed by it. That's so stupid, but it's funny. Yeah, I guess this movie was really good. It was very creative. It was I don't really say it's funny. It was really emotional and moving and pretty fun. It's pretty good. Number 18, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. For a long time, I thought this movie should have been Shang-Chi and the Legend of Who Gives a Fuck, because this movie just looked really uninteresting. But I'm surprised to report that I actually did really like it. I mean, the action sequences were great. The effects were pretty good. The funniest part of the movie is Awkwafina singing Hotel California, my bad. I don't have much to say about it. It's pretty good, and I really like how Trevor Slattery returns, because he's a pretty fun character. Just watch it. It's pretty good. It's still okay. Number 17, Ant-Man. This one is honestly pretty fine. Pretty okay. I really liked it. Why is it so hard to think of things to say for these? The best part of the movie was Luis, obviously. I was actually very interested in the villain, and I did not want him to win. And the effects were really good. The climax, the third act, was very nice. That's all I can say about it. Also, I like Michael Douglas's performance. This movie was pretty okay, obviously. Number 16. Now we're into the good category. And that good category starts with Doctor Strange. I felt a lot of sadness for Doctor Strange in this movie, because I really wanted him to fix his hands. I really wanted him to get his life back together. And he was a very compelling character. And also, I don't know why I said that. And also, my favorite part of the movie is the mirror dimension sequence. It's amazing. 10 out of 10. Amazing sequence. And the rest of this movie is hard to describe, but it's still very good. I love the climax, and even though the post-credit sequence kind of pisses me off, this movie is very good. Definitely worth a watch. Number 15, Ant-Man and the Wasp. I mean, I don't know. This one was pretty good. I don't know. I really like the premise of finding out that Hank Pym's wife might still be alive in the quantum realm and going to get her out, and it has the most creative villain in the entire timeline, literally just called the Ghost, someone who's a girl who's able to pass through walls and turn invisible because of her particles and molecules always changing. She's the most understandable villain, and the thing I didn't like about this was the fact that no, there's nothing I liked. I didn't really hate about it. It's just very okay. Everything in this movie most of the things in this movie were fun, and the shrink and grow sequences were honestly very good, and Luis is just as funny in this one. Definitely worth the watch. Number 14, Guardians of the Galaxy. The first one is definitely is honestly my least favorite of the three Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But I also think it's the funniest one. It's really damn hilarious. But I just didn't really care for it that much. But hey, screw it. It's very fun. I love it when a movie is just hitting me with Star Wars style space action sequences. Everything was funny. The soundtrack absolutely slaps. The third act was very good. I really liked the villain. He was pretty cool. And some things I had some problems were that the characters weren't all that compelling. Some of them were kind of unlikable. Rocket was a bit of an asshole, and Drax was kind of annoying. And Groot was the most uninteresting character in the movie. But the the funniest scene in this movie is where he just skewers this line of guards and just smacks them left to right, then repeatedly, even though he didn't need to do that, then throws them up and just smiles like, that's very funny. This movie is pretty good. Definitely my least favorite, but that does not mean I do not like it. Definitely go watch it. It's a lot of fun. Number 13, Iron Man 3. After Iron Man 2, this was a godsend. Oh, and by the way, we've gotten into the great category already. We haven't even gotten to the top 10, and we are in the great category. That's how good most of these movies are. Yeah, Iron Man 3 is a perfect follow-up to Iron Man 2, because even though it acknowledges the second movie exists, it still gets right back on track, and the characters are actually likable in this one. The decisions are better, except for Tony just saying where his address is. That was a very stupid thing. The action sequences were great, and the villain was kind of completely overreacted, like he just got turned down a deal with Tony Stark, so now he's injecting his body with lava and a bunch of other people's bodies with lava and wanting to kill the president. Like, what was that for? And the entire climax is amazing. Perfectly good, but the thing I like most about this movie is that its album is that in the album for this movie, Heroes Fall, which has songs inspired by the movie, there is a song that I grew up with that's very nostalgic because I've listened to it a lot since I was a kid, and it's called Ready, Aim, Fire by Imagine Dragons. It absolutely slaps, and you should listen to it. A very good movie. I'm happy I can talk about the movies I really love. Number 12, Spider-Man: Far From Home. This one, I have never... honestly, I saw that some... when I found out that people do not like this movie, I said, but why though? Yeah, seriously, why though? This movie is so great. Honestly, it has the best plot twists. Because the plot twist with Mysterio was just so out of nowhere and so cool and so brilliant. The entire climax is amazing. And Nick Fury's pretty fun. And I just really like the Spider-Man movies. These movies, that is. I don't got much to say about it. Oh my god, why do I never have a lot to say about these movies? The entire plot goes completely well, and I laugh at a lot of the moments, and I thought it was stupid how Ned just got a girlfriend out of nowhere, and then broke up with him at the ending for no explanation. That was still funny. And I really like the credit scenes, both of them. Like, I was sort of pissed off that according to the timeline a timeline of movies that I was watching each movie by, the list said that of these movies in their timeline order. The list of these movies in their timeline order said that I had to watch two other movies after I watched this movie, even though this literally plays. Even though this movie literally ends right before Spider-Man No Way Home starts, so Far From Home and No Way Home should be in the exact same spot. I'm mixing up my words. This video sucks. Number 11, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Very good. Yeah, very, very good. This movie is very good. Very fun. Very funny. And I don't have much bad things to say about it. It's very nice. The villain is extremely cruel and crazy, and Rocket's flashbacks are so heartbreaking. And here's something that I'll bring up for no reason. This is the first movie in the MCU to have an F-bomb dropped. And honestly, the only thing that I genuinely hate about this movie, the only small thing I hate, was when the crew is looking at a hologram of a memory from Rocket's past and see Rocket getting some wires implanted on him. And Nebula goes ahead and says, "This is worse than what Thanos did to me." Oh, really? Nebula, the one who got turned into a literal cyborg against her own will, who got her arm, scalp, eyes, and God knows what else completely replaced by machines against her own will, probably in an extremely painful way, sees Rocket getting some metal implanted on him. Getting a few metal implanted in him, and says, "This is worse than what Thanos did to me." You're only watching one thing that they did to him, and you're already saying it's worse than everything Thanos did to you. You literally have more machines on your body than Darth Vader, and you think what they did to Rocket was worse? Like, what the hell? I mean, maybe it was, but she didn't see that. She just saw them putting something on him. She didn't know that they were putting a whole fuck ton of things on him, so she shouldn't have thought that it was worse than what Thanos did to her. Because from her perspective, that was a definite lie. Okay, I'm moving on. Number 10, Iron Man. Kicked off the entire MCU. So great. Amazing. So fun. This one is probably the one with the best cast. I just love it. I don't really want to talk more about it because I feel like it's already had everything that there is to say about it is said. Oh, and also, The one thing I didn't like about it was the fact that apparently the 10 rings in this movie got so damn popular in the rest of the MCU. Except they didn't. They just appeared in this movie. And apparently later on they appeared in the Iron Man 3, and then later on they have an entire movie dedicated to how where they came from and what their master is like, called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I just didn't think that was necessary. Like, who asked for an origin story on the group that captured Iron Man in the first movie? Who really did? But I have nothing else bad to say about this movie. Very, very freaking good. Number 9. Spider-Man No Way Home. I fucking love these movies. I love the Spider-Man movies. This one is no different. It has everything that I love about a Spider-Man movie. So much comedy, so much batshit crazy action, and I love how it's just a simple love letter to Spider-Man as a whole. Bringing back all the villains from the original movies and making them the villains, and bringing in the Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Mans to interact with the Tom Holland Spider-Man. So good. Amazing. So good. And the ending of this movie is probably the end. It was very freaking good, because it's the best way to end a movie with It's the best way to end these movies if you wanted to end them with something getting sacrificed, because Spider-Man completely sacrifices his identity, and now nobody knows who he is. They just know that Spider-Man exists and not his secret identity. And now he's lost his girlfriend and his best friend, and he has to get used to life again. And he accepts that and goes on being Spider-Man. Amazing. Truly amazing. Spider-Man No Way Home, amazing. Number 8. Alright, I have said that Captain America is my least favorite MCU trilogy, because it's just so boring, uninteresting, sometimes frustrating. In every way, I really don't like it. And what's odd is that even though number 8 is Captain America Winter Soldier, the Winter Soldier, I still can't call this franchise, this trilogy, a good trilogy. I still don't like the trilogy, even though Captain America the Winter Soldier is a 10 out of 10. Because the other things that aren't what this movie is, just to pull it away from being a trilogy I liked. With that said, this movie is still great. It's so great to see the revelation that Hydra has been working undercover in Shield for so long, and they're about to go and they're about to straight up go murder everyone on the planet who literally looks like they're going to doubt them. And I really love the climax and how they adjust, and I really love the main characters winning. So fucking great. I really love it. I would love to watch it again. Number 7. I said at the beginning of this video that I am happy that my opinions are very different from most other people's opinions, and I don't care if I get in trouble for it. With that said, I do kind of hate myself for making number 7 be Captain Marvel. Yes, you heard that right out loud. This is in the great category. I feel stupid for putting this movie so high, but honestly, there's just something about it that I really love, and I honestly don't care that the actress playing the main character is doing a bad job. I actually think she's doing a great job. And I actually don't think that the main character wasn't fleshed out. I actually thought she was very interesting. I thought this entire movie was very cool, very fun, and honestly, the funniest part of this movie is the completely underwhelming and hilarious revelation that Nick Fury actually lost his eye to a cat scratch. That's pretty funny, even though I do agree that it should not have gone like that. And instead, he should have lost his eye from that car crash earlier in the movie. Not only because it's a more badass and cool way, but also because it's a better it's a better fitting thing. It's a better fitting way for him to lose his eye, since he literally says, "Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye," and he trusted his friend in that car, who was a scroll, and crashed and damaged his eye. He should have lost his eye there. That would have fit that line from Winter Soldier perfectly. I have been recording this video for 1 hour. My God. So yeah, this movie is very high because I really love it, and honestly, I adore the fact that this movie starts off with the logos being switched around so that they could just be a cute little dedication to Stan Lee. That was very heartwarming. Anyways, I'm gonna go on. Number 6, Thor. A great movie. Just so great. This superhero Thor is so interesting and compelling and cool, and I love how he's like throughout this whole story. This movie is very funny. I really love every character in this movie. Not one of them is hateable. Not one. I really like the story. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to explain these movies. I just like saying they're good or bad. I really like Thor and Jane's relationship in this one because it's much better fleshed out and much more nice. And I really love Loki being the villain. He's such a fun villain. I love that guy. Even though I was kind of pissed off that he didn't die in Thor: The Dark World. But I guess I'm happy that no, I shouldn't be. I was going to say I should be happy that he didn't die in that movie. Otherwise, we wouldn't have gotten the Loki TV show for that came out later on. But then I realized that Thor: The Dark World came after the Avengers, which is where that show takes place in an alternate timeline. I'm getting off track. Thor equals great. Number 5. We are in the top 5 now, and number 5 is The Avengers. Very, very nice. Definitely a classic. A 2010s classic. This movie is cinema. This movie is continuously funny. Every character is cool and interesting and badass, and the story is very interesting as well, and is always going somewhere. And the entire climax is amazing, and honestly, it's very funny to see. It's that the Stan Lee cameo is where Stan Lee says, "Superheroes in New York City, give me a break." Like, it's very funny to see that the Stan Lee cameo is him acting like the people who he made weren't real. This movie is very nice. I feel like everyone else has said everything there already is to say about this movie. C'est magnifique. Number 4, Thor Ragnarok. No question. An amazing, amazing movie. I love this movie because this one is the one that with the most sacrifices made. This is the most surprising movie. Before I watched this movie, I did not know at all that Thor's hammer gets destroyed in this movie, and it's honestly kind of sad that his hammer doesn't come back for this entire movie. It's just gone now. And I really like the entire story. I like how he meets up with Hulk. This movie is so great. Every scene is fun or funny or interesting. The entire climax is great, and the entire climax is brilliant. They had to sacrifice Asgard to save the Asgardians, and I love the post-credits scenes. And the only thing that kind of pissed me off was the fact that Loki tried to betray his brother again for literally no reason. But other than that, this movie is a masterpiece. But we have one more movie before we can talk about the 2 movies on this list that belong in the category of elegant masterpiece. Number 3, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. This one is so much fun. This one is just so rewatchable. I love this movie. I adore it. Every character in this movie is funny. It's so continuously funny. The soundtrack still slaps. The story is so great, and the villain is so evil, and it's just so compelling, sad, heartwarming. Everything in it is fun. Everything in it is good. It's so fucking fun. My mind just gets triggered when I see space action. Like, yay, space action. It's, I don't know what else to say at this point. Oh my god, this movie is so great. I've been saying these movies are so great for a long time, and I still feel like I've never given any explanation to why any of them are great. I still feel like I'm doing this movie the wrong way. Anyways, number 2, we have finally gotten into the category of elegant masterpiece. And number 2 is, what else? Avengers Infinity War. Not number 1. But, holy shit. Oh my god. 1 second, please. Avengers Infinity War is definitely phenomenal in every way. Let me just get through with it has the best intro of every Marvel movie, where so many things are sacrificed in that intro, and it's so scary. Loki actually dies. So does Heimdall. After Thanos arrives, he beats up the Hulk, and he kills most of the Asgardians, even though they were trying to escape in Thor Ragnarok. He just came and undid all that. They were all alive. Thanos came and undid all that. Tesseract gets destroyed. The rest of the movie gets better from there. Every character is great. Every character knows what's going on, and they make all the right decisions. And all the right things to do. And this movie is one of the best crossovers ever. I love basically every scene in this movie. The funniest scene was Ned saying, "We're all gonna die," and the villains were so interesting, so cool. Every scene was so cool. You're kept on the edge of your seat the whole movie because so much crazy shit is going on, and it's looking like the villain is gonna win, and he does. The entire scene where Tony, Doctor Strange, and Peter team up with some of the Guardians of the Galaxy and fight Thanos is amazing, and every other scene in this movie is too. I love how much is sacrificed in this movie. I love every single character arc or emotions that every character goes through, and the ending is absolutely phenomenal, where the villain actually wins for once. Like Scarlet Witch, Wanda literally had to sacrifice her husband to keep him from winning, but that solved nothing because Thanos just brings him back to life and kills him himself and takes the stone. And Thor doesn't go for the head, and Thanos snaps, and half the universe goes to waste. That's the best ending I can think of. And the post-credit scene is amazing as well. Nothing in this movie is a waste of time at all. It is a miracle. Nothing in this movie is bad. Everything in this movie is amazing, and anybody should watch it. Anyone will enjoy it, because it is truly a cinematic, classical masterpiece. And now I've been talking for quite a long time. I want to take a break. Now we've gotten to the number 1 spot, but before we get to that, remember how in the beginning of this video I said I was going to also review the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse before I got to number 1? Well, we've gone there, so let's talk about it. But first, let me tell you my thoughts on the first Spider-Verse movie, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. In my video where I reviewed every Sony Pictures animation movie, I said that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was alright. I didn't really like it. and I thought it was overrated. But honestly, my opinion on the movie has actually gotten worse. Yeah, I'm a guy who doesn't like Spider-Verse. Now, that is an original opinion. Because I don't see why people love this movie so. I feel like I expected too much from it, and that killed it. Because, let me just say, the idea of so many Spider-Man variants is one of the best movie premises ever, and the way they they carry it out sucks. Um, the story only gets going at the 40-minute mark. I don't know how to say this. I feel embarrassed talking about this movie. Yeah, you'll have to also watch these two Spider-Verse movies to understand what's going on with what I'm saying. The most of the scenes in this movie I do not like. It is funny, but okay, some of the things in this movie I feel like they just happen out of nowhere without explanation. Like I'm supposed to just accept it because it's fun. Something probably the biggest complaint I have about this movie is just a personal problem. It is way too fast. It is batshit fast, going at the speed of sound. It is way too much stimulation for me because I can barely comprehend what the hell is happening in it because it's all moving so damn fast. Oh, and also the characters. I'd have to say that the characters were kind of nice, except most of them were kind of pointless. Most of them were kind of pointless. The main character Miles, he definitely does not have as much character development as everyone says he does, and Peter just throwing him off the mission for no reason at the end is really pisses me off because he says that he's not ready. He just says to Miles, "You're not ready for this." Yeah, no shit. That's because you just wouldn't train him, dummy. You expected him to learn everything on his own, and you didn't give him any time to learn anything. Now he has to learn it all on his own. And also the characters, the Spider-Man variants, the people from the Spider-Verse that come into this movie are completely pointless. They're here to show that the Spider-Verse exists, and that is definitely necessary. So the movie probably should have done something with them, because the Spider-Man variants are played by John Mulaney, Kimiko Glenn, Nicolas Cage, and those three ones add nothing to the story. They do nothing. You could take them out; it wouldn't change anything. And Gwen. Let me talk about Gwen. Gwen in this movie serves no purpose. Gwen Stacy in Into the Spider-Verse, people are happy that Sony didn't force a romantic relationship between her and Miles. Yeah, I'm fine with that. They didn't force anything else between them two. In fact, they didn't force a friendship between them either. The problem I have with her is the movie does nothing with her. She is completely pointless. She doesn't further the story in any way. She barely talks with Miles. She barely does anything that motivates him. She's just there for some reason. And then she's just out of there. It's just like that. Nothing was done with her in this movie, and yet everyone treats her as an amazing character. Why though? Everyone acts like she was definitely important to the plot, and she was a very great character in this movie. Okay, I get why though. Maybe it's because her design is very hot. I don't know. Is that what you want me to say? Oh, and another thing, the design for Kingpin, I'm just gonna say it is complete trash. The design for Kingpin is completely horrible. It's stupid. The best thing I could say about this movie is that the animation is absolutely phenomenal in every way. But other than that, I am probably the only person in the world who genuinely, really does not like the first Into the Spider-Verse movie. With that said, I have spent so much time not talking about Across the Spider-Verse, so let me talk about the Across the Spider-Verse. I saw it recently in theaters right before it was about to go out of theaters. And if I didn't like the first Spider-Verse movie, you probably think I wouldn't like this one either. Well, to put it simply, I do have a different opinion. I do think it's better than the first one because, okay, to put it simply, until further notice, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is pretty much the best movie to come out of this decade, as so far as we see. Yeah, I did not like the first movie, but Across the Spider-Verse is absolutely perfect. It's a perfect sequel. It's amazing. Like, literally, there is nothing to complain about in this movie. The story is great because it's completely original. It's very stretched out. I'm pretty sure there's no filler, and almost every moment furthers the story. The characters are great. They're all very fleshed out. There are so many cool character designs. They all play a part in the story. They actually give Gwen a very big part in the story. That makes it much better. That makes her a much better character. And Miles's own character story is very compelling, and the action is incredible. It's still going very fast, but this time I actually love it because it because it just keeps you glued on the screen. The animation is still amazing as ever. That there's no need to explain that. The comedy is great as well. The first scene of the movie that had Miles and the Spot was the first time in a long time where I had an actual laughing fit in the theater. Not one joke in this movie missed. And the ending is actually the only problem I have with this movie because, yeah, it does piss me off that this movie left us on a cliffhanger. A very good cliffhanger, but it's still a cliffhanger. And I mean, are you seriously expecting me to just accept it when your movie literally ends with "to be continued"? And this Marvel movie has no post-credit scene. It literally just left us on a limb. And now that a bunch of animators in Hollywood have gone on strike, the movie has been delayed from its other release that was just gonna come soon. And now I have no idea when it's gonna when Beyond the Spider-Verse is gonna come. But I don't want to act like I don't like this movie, because that is a fucking lie. This movie is better than the original in every single way. It is so great, and it is just so great in every way. Everything about this movie works. Everything. Literally, it is the best thing you can watch. You will get everything out of it. You need to watch Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That movie has all... Wait just a second. I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. Okay, yeah, you should definitely watch Across the Spider-Verse. I was rehearsing this line because that movie has all the action, comedy, creativity, Spider-Man, heartfelt moments, drama, romance, and insert eighth thing here that you could hope for. Truly amazing. Definitely gonna go down in history as one of the best movies it's definitely one of the best movies in so much time. And if you watch this, you will definitely you will definitely say you will love it. If you watch this movie, then when you're done watching it, there will be no way you will be able to say you did not love it. With all that being said, I don't really give a shit about this movie. I just talked to it like it was God, and now I'm just saying that I don't care for it. Yeah, but let me just make it simple. I don't really care for it. Everything about this movie is amazing. It is an absolutely amazing motion picture, but I'm not gonna rewatch it anytime soon because I don't really care for it. I really don't care for it at all. Like, it's literally, it's like I witnessed a miracle and then I said, okay, that's good. Like my opinion on this movie is like, it's as if I watched the founding fathers sign the Declaration of Independence and said, oh, okay, that was good. I'm gonna go home now. Like I literally just watched the movie and then came out and said to myself, okay, that was good. I don't really care. Yeah, I'm not gonna really watch it again anytime soon. Even though it's an absolute masterpiece on so many levels, I don't really care about it because simply it's just not my type. And in a generation that loves the amazing Miles Morales, I need more mediocre Peter Parker. It's as simple as that. This movie is definitely one of the best movies ever made, or at least in recent years. But it will never earn the title as one of my favorite movies. And you can bet it will never earn the title of my favorite Spider-Man movie. I want to go to bed. I'm tired. Remember when this video was about me ranking every MCU movie? Yeah, remember that I actually haven't gotten to number one pick yet? Yeah, like I said, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is not my favorite Spider-Man movie. It will never be my favorite Spider-Man movie. It will never even be one of my favorite movies. My favorite Spider-Man movie is already taken. It belongs to the number one spot. Like, it belongs to the number one spot. Here we go. Number one is Spider-Man Homecoming, baby. Fuck yeah. This is definitely number one. It wins because of nostalgia. That's the reason why. Because this movie was the very first MCU movie I ever watched, and boy was it great. I love it. I love everything about this movie. It's just such a chill, laid-back, fun, cute little high school coming-of-age movie. Every character in this is amazing. I have nothing bad to say about it. Everything in this is fun. I do not hate or dislike anything about this. I genuinely love the struggle that Peter goes through and understand how Tony is just trying to keep him safe. And I understand the villain's motivations. I love every other character. Ned is funny as shit. Nothing in this movie doesn't work. It is truly worthy of the top spot because it is, without a doubt, an elegant masterpiece. And in my eyes, it will definitely always be my favorite Spider-Man movie and my favorite MCU movie. I'm done. Oh my god, I am tired because I looked at the time that since I started recording this video, and let me say, you could go watch Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. I mean Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and play this video at the exact same time, and at the end you'd still have 1 hour to spare. This video was very long, and I'm tired. But I think I did something. I gained something from this ranking. I made a very long video doing something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and now I've gotten it out of the way, and now you know my personal idea of every MCU movie. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. I really like the MCU now, and I am honestly excited for the next MCU movie, The Marvels, and I could not wait for season 2 of Loki. And honestly, what do I say now? Honestly, I'm kind of thankful that I watched the movies in this ranking, Because even though some of them were shitty, they were outweighed by so many amazing movies that I definitely love. And now I actually love Marvel. I'm genuinely serious. I now actually have strong feelings about this entire studio and its whole timeline. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. All I can say is I for one can't wait for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse because I feel like with the fact that the Into the Spider-Verse was mediocre and I did not like it, and Across the Spider-Verse was absolutely phenomenal, but I didn't care for it. I feel like what Beyond the Spider-Verse might be absolutely phenomenal, and I might actually like it. So yeah, that's all I can say about this movie. In this video, I can't wait for more Marvel products. That sounds stupid. Oh my god, why am I still recording? I just want to say that my next video will be me talking about what my top 10 favorite and least favorite movies are. And the last thing I want to say is if my cousin Justice or my other cousins are watching this, thank you for pitching in to bring me thank you for pitching in to bring me two box sets that include the 3 Iron Man movies and the 3 Captain America movies. And if you are watching this, then thank you for coming to my Zoom birthday meeting, and I love you all. And as for my regular audience, yes, it was my birthday. It was on August 1st. Why am I still recording this? There is nothing left to record. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. And the last thing I want to say is my cousins and my rest of my family, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry. I appreciate what you gave me, but this movie can still go fuck itself. Bye-bye.